that we didn't finish the fiqh of it, which hadith Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, the two hadith Hudayfa and hadith Salama, narrated Hudayfa ibn Yaman radiallahu anhu that Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam قال لا تشربوا في آنية الذهب والفضة ولا تأكلوا في صحافهما فإنها لهم في الدنيا ولكم في الآخرة. وعن أم سلمة رضي الله عنها متفق عليه، وعن أم سلمة رضي الله عنها أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال الذي يشرب في آنية الفضة إنما يجرجر في بطنه نار جهنم متفق عليه. That the Prophet ﷺ said, do not drink in silver or gold utensils, and do not eat in plates of such metals, for such things are for them, the disbelievers, in this worldly life, and for you in the hereafter. Agreed upon. Also narrated Salama radiallahu anha that Allah's Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, he who drinks in silver utensil is only swallowing hellfire in his stomach. Reported by Bukhari or Muslim. And we said there's another hadith for that last one, silver or gold. Okay. إنما في إناء الفضة والذهب. And this is in Sahih Muslim, or الذهب والفضة. And we talked about that these utensils, if it's made from pure gold or pure silver, we said that's absolutely haram and absolutely forbidden in Islam. And there is nothing can shows otherwise, that it's just dislike anything. The hadith is very explicit in two different ways. A direct order, do not eat or drink, and the other hadith telling us that this will lead to hellfire, and only deeds which is considered muharramat lead to hellfire. And we said that we talk about, can we make an analogy by saying, what's about gold and silver plated utensils? Are they included or not? Al-ulama rahimahumullah has two positions. The first one said, it is not allowed for you to use utensils that, spoons or anything of that nature, or plates, that is silver plated or gold plated. Why? Because the same concept. Why did we say don't drink in gold and silver utensils? Because it shows arrogance. It is basically whatever reason for the first one will apply. It looks exactly like gold and silver. And the other group said no, because it is very small amount. The Prophet ﷺ forbid a pure gold plate, a pure gold spoon, a pure gold silver fork or knife. But if it's plated, it's a very small amount. It's really not considered a big amount. Do small or big make a difference in ruling? Do small or big make a difference in rulings? The ulama rahimahullah said, yes, it does. You know, when you have a very small amount of something, it will not take the ruling of that thing. That's why Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, when a man asked about a thawb, a dress that's made of silk, men in Islam are not allowed to wear pure silk, not synthetic silk. The pure silk is not allowed to wear it for men. Women allowed, but for men no. But in Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, somebody asked him, and Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, if it's that much, and he puts his two fingers together, in your clothes, it is allowed. So, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam made that exception, that much in your thawb, in your garment, won't be permissible, because it's very small. So small amounts always, there's no rules are related to it. Also, in Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, his cup was a crack in it. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam filled that crack with silver, or they made it for him, they fixed it with silver. It was a hole, actually, not a crack, hole. And in one of the narration, Israel, the Rawi, he said like this, like that big in the cup. and he put his 3 fingers together. It was filled with, it's like a piece of silver, attached that all in the cup. So that's a small amount compared to the size of the cup. It's not 1/4 of it, it's less than that, less than 1/3 of it. So, less than 1/4, definitely less than 1/3. So it's a small amount made of silver, and the ulama rahimahullah, and Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam did it, so it will be acceptable. But a lot of ulama said you're allowed to use a small amount of silver, but they will not allow a small amount of gold. You see, because the silver, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam used it, but the gold is not, there is no proof for it. Then one of the things also we said, but maybe we didn't talk about it, can you use gold and silver in other than utensils? And you can't use it in other than utensils. You might say, what about jewelry? Okay, jewelry. For women, absolutely it's allowed. But what about men? You know, this is another ruling that's not my area today to speak about, but for men, gold is not allowed. In Islam, the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam forbade men to wear jewelry that's made of pure gold. Okay? And as for silver, there is debate between the Muslim scholars. Is it allowed for silver or not? And many scholars said it is permissible. It is permissible. But here we talk about using silver and gold other than just the jewelry and other than utensils. Like, for example, watch, pen. Can you use the silver and gold? Let's say you have a plate, but it's not for food. This plate is to put flour on it. You know, I told you before, you might have a jar, and this basically container, you're going to use it as a vase. And originally, maybe it's for serving drink. Okay, but you're going to use it for, it's made of silver. I want to keep it at home, or I win it, or I got it. You know, maybe you find a treasure from old days, and it has these things gold. Can you use that? You know, I'm not going to use it for eating and drinking. We heard the Prophet said it's forbidden. But can I use it for other uses? The hadith is very specific. It's about you're not allowed to eat or drink. لا تأكلوا. He didn't say لا تستعملوا. The hadith didn't say don't use utensils or elements that are made of silver or gold. No, he said don't eat any utensils that are made of silver or gold. That's why Imam Shafi'i rahimahullah ta'ala and the Zahiri, Ibn Hazm and his followers, and many other scholars like As-San'ani, Shawkani, Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah from the Hanabila, and the long list said it is allowed for you to use gold and silver in other uses, other than utensils. So that's what they said. There is also a good number of scholars said no, you should not use gold and silver like pen or watch. Watch, it will be interesting. Is watch a form of jewelry? Or it is just a way to track time?
I think jewelry.
I think we can debate over that. That's why I love what Shaykh al-Islam rahimahullah said. Qal Shaykh al-Islam, it depends on what is your intention and what is the common use is. So if the common use for it and the use, let's say a pen, but I really wearing this pen which is made of gold or plated with gold, not because it is good pen. No, it is became a part of what? Jewelry. It is something to beautify me. In this case, that pen take the rule of jewelry. If you wear the watch because I like the way it looks, it's like looks like a bracelet, you know, and this kind of watch, we said no, you're not allowed to wear it. But if it does happen to be relaxed, for example, and it's plated gold or certain part of it has gold in it, we say it is permissible. It is permissible. but I do believe that it is much better for the person to abstain from such things. You know, and that will go farther to gold-plated cars, gold-plated, you know, if you open this door, the problem will be gold-plated, like you hear about these rich people, palaces, princes, queens. You go to Europe, all this royal family in Europe, if you go to their palaces, their bathrooms, their, you know, or in Gulf countries, and you will see, or you hear, even I heard in the White House as well, you will see that these are plated gold, some of it, and stuff of that nature. All this, really, it's the wrong usage that the Muslim scholars said of what is gold meant for. Gold and silver are meant to be the asset for the economy, it's not for you to utilize it in such things like that. And because it can end up with what we call it wasting the money. Can you imagine? I saw a car plated gold, the whole entire car. That's just ridiculous. I don't think there is a faqih or a Muslim scholar will allow such practices, because that shows how much the person attached. And then Nabi Sallallahu said that drinking and eating and utensils made of gold, it makes you so much attached to the dunya, give you so much arrogance. What do you think riding a car made of gold? Wallah, it sounds like. Or sitting in a toilet seat made of gold. No doubt, it's the same concept here, and no doubt we will not allow stuff of that concept.
I think bad for the poor, would you?
Huh?
The poor people, when they look at it, you know.
Yeah, just to show it off.
Yeah, the poor people, they like, see this gold, and they have no food to eat.
Yeah, and imagine poor people, how they feel about that. Yeah. I remember when they entered the Libyan's president's palaces. You know, Libya is a very rich country, has a lot of oil, but people live in poverty. And there's no many people there, there are very few of them. The whole entire population is very small. But he made everybody live in poverty, and when they walk, you see some of these videos when they walk into his palaces, you know, and they sell, or in Egypt or Mubarak in certain places, and they start showing all these like gold-plated plates and all this like luxury life, and your own people and people around you live in absolute poverty. That's absolutely wrong. The ulama said, can we make analogy on gold and silver? And we say, if it is made of any expensive metal, like there is metals as expensive as gold and silver. Like what? Platinum, for example. Or let's say you have a cup has rubies and diamonds in it, or stuff like that. Can you use it? The vast majority of the Muslim scholars said that will not take the same rules of gold and silver, because the hadith is specifically in gold and silver for a reason. We don't know, but those who said it's allowed to use a pen, for example, has diamond in it, then they said, but you're not allowed to use a pen that is plated with gold. They contradict themselves. Either all of them is not allowed, or you allow both of them, in my opinion. Don't you agree? Yes. They contradict themselves. They say, because if you say the reason for the gold is to break the heart of the poor and the waste of money, apply to the same thing when you use diamonds and things of that nature. And what about using these plates or jugs or cups for other than eating or drinking, if it's made of gold and silver? Can I use it for purification? Just a plate and I put it for display. Can I do that? The answer for this, there is an interesting rules in Islam. It says, كل ما حرم استعماله مطلقا حرم اقتناؤه مطلقا. Anything you're not allowed to use it in any way or any form, you're not allowed to possess. In Islam, for example, I'm not allowed to use alcohol. Liquor is something I'm not allowed to use. So I'm not allowed to possess. So nobody said, you know what, I'm gonna have, sorry, I'm not very well educated on the name of the liquors and stuff like that, but that's I don't know how the fancy one looks like. Let's say one of these bottles looks so unique, and I'm just gonna put it for decoration. I'm not gonna drink it. I'm just putting it there. He said this is not allowed to be used in any form or any shape. You're not allowed to sell it. You're not allowed to buy it. You're not allowed to cook with it. You're not allowed to drink it. So you're not allowed to possess it. Huh? Empty, it depends. If that jar or that cup, that's the only use for it, you're not allowed. That's why I don't, for example, believe you're allowed to possess tequila shots. Because these shots are only used for a khamr. Unless you're Arab and you wear a coffee in it, I don't know. But if this is like, let's imagine, there is a specific cups that's only used for khamr. Only used, but the reality even tequila is not like, you can use it in any other thing you want. So you're allowed to have it. But imagine something like, like spoon. The only use for a spoon is to eat. So if it's a pure gold, you're not allowed to possess. Fork, the same thing. But what about plates? What about jug? No. Plates, some of them are not necessarily for food. Some of these plates are intended to be a decoration. So if there is a multiple use for it, we go back to the original discussion we had. Are plates that are made of gold, if it's going to be used other than food, allowed to use? Those who said yes, which is I believe is the correct opinion, he will allow you to use it. I'm going to use it, for example, just for decoration. I'm going to use it to put flowers in it. I'm going to use jewelry on it. I'm going to use it to use in a vase, like a big jar, or use it as a vase. So in this case, it's permissible. Some Muslim scholars, they don't allow some music instruments, for example. There are some Muslims, not all of them, but some Muslim scholars believe that music instruments are not allowed. So those who believe that, they will tell you you're not allowed to possess these instruments even if you don't use them. Like guitar or something. If let's say they believe. Those who believe it's forbidden, you say not allowed to have it as a decoration in your house. But those scholars who believe it's permissible, you said it's allowed to obviously to have. One of the benefits from this hadith, that the Muslim should attach his heart to the hereafter. Why? Because that's the eternal life. While this life is temporary. That's why that's why Umar radiallahu anhu used to say, when you fulfill all your desires in this dunya, what's left for the akhirah? There is also the concept of different. There is this life and next life. Those who don't believe in next life, they want to do everything in this life. But it doesn't work. This life is not meant for fulfilling all your desires because it's not possible, number one. Two, some of these desires are not allowed to be fulfilled in certain ways. That's why you're always going to know that there is something left for the akhirah. That's why Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, it is for them in the dunya and for us in the akhirah. This luxury life, this spoiled kind of life that you eat and drink and walk and gold and silver, this will be in paradise. That's why Aisha radiallahu anha, when she saw a group of women not wearing hijab and displaying their beauties and their chests and their legs and their hands and and they were not Muslims. So Aisha told, and there is narration said that it was Asma, told the woman around her, she said, you're looking at them, I don't know how that feels because they don't wear hijab. So, but sisters who wear hijab, or the cover, maybe you can relate to this more. But if I would imagine myself in your shoes, okay, and women like covering up, covering their hands, wearing all those long dresses, and stuff like that. Yeah. And about your beauty, why she sent people showing and displaying their beauty. It's kind of, you feel, I wish it could also, I'm also beautiful, I'm also this. So, here she told them, it was very smart for him to tell them, it is for them in this life and for us in the hereafter. And in Jannah there is no hijab. So, that's what she told them, radiallahu anhu. One of the lessons that we can learn from this hadith, you should abstain and stay away from anything that make you arrogant. And كل شيء يدخل الكبر على القلب. One of the goals of Islam is to protect your heart from having any form, any shape of arrogance. That's why Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said you will not enter paradise if you have mastery of arrogance. Just very little of arrogance will prevent you from entering paradise. Because arrogance is the worst of all diseases. It is the mother of all sins. And we know that the Satan refused to prostrate himself before, after Allah ordered him, because of arrogance. He said, I'm better than Adam. I'm not going to do that. So, here, Islam came to close the door for anything that can lead to arrogance. Even if it doesn't necessarily lead to arrogance to everyone, because the rules are rules for everybody. It's not like, okay, you know what, if I drink, Sheikh, if I eat and drink from gold and silver plates, I'm not going to be arrogant. Yeah, maybe you, but the rules come general, fit everybody. So that's why Islam closed that door, because that's basically just eating and drinking in this format. It shows certain level of arrogance. That's why Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam also said, don't drag your clothes behind you out of arrogance, like how kings do that. They let their robes drag on the floor out of arrogance. The Prophet said, don't do that. Also, this hadith shows that wasting wealth and money is not allowed. The form of wasting the wealth is to transfer gold and silver for utensils, for spoons and plates and cups and things of that nature. That's a waste. وَلَا تُسْرِفُوا. Do not waste your money. إِنَّ الْمُبَذِّرِينَ كَانُوا إِخْوَانَ الشَّيَاطِينَ. Waster are the brothers of the shayateen, Allah said. The same, the devil. Also, one of the lessons that we learn from this hadith, that there is things for them and there is things for us. We have to have that concept. And I think our community, our children, it's a good to hear that. There are certain things, maybe they can do it, but I can't do it. And I have to live with that. I have to know how to accept that. There are certain things I can't do. Maybe that's, his religion allowed him to do that. His culture allowed him to do that. That's fine. But for me, I can't do that. For me, in my religion, my vocabulary, my dictionary, my system, I don't do stuff like that. So if we can't understand this concept and we accept it, because we kind of living in a very different life in 21st century today, with the globalization, with basically people start melting together. I understand there's positivity of that, a lot of positive side of that, but also at the same time, at the end of the day, we understand that this is something I can do as a Muslim. This is something maybe you can do. As a Muslim, I don't do that. And there is nothing shame of that or wrong with that. The next hadith, so he's talking about utensils, this chapter. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم عن ابن عباس رضي الله عنهما قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إذا دبغ الإهاب فقد طهر. تبغى تقرأ عبد الله؟
Narrated Ibn Abbas, Allah's Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, when the skin is tanned, it becomes purified. Reported by Muslim. Al-Arba'ah have the words, any skin that is...
Arba'ah means the four.
Any skin that is tanned.
The 4 here means the Abu Dawood and Nasai, Tirmidhi, these 4 books of hadith reported. Say that, what did they say? Any skill?
Any skin that is tanned. That's so any skin that is tanned becomes purified.
Okay. The next.
Narrated Salama bin al-Muhabbiq radiyallahu anh, Allah's Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, the tanning of a dead animal's skin purifies it. Reported by Ibn Hibban, graded it Sahih, sound.
Next.
Narrated Maimuna radiyallahu anha, some people dragging a dead goat passed by the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam. He told them, had you better taken its skin? They said, it is dead. He said, water and the leaves of the acacia tree will purify it. Reported by Abu Dawood and Nasai.
That's it, thank you. This group of ahadith is speaking about the issue of tanning the skin. What this has to do with utensil? The chapter is about utensil. What's tanning the skin has to do with utensil?
They use leather.
Utensils.
They use leather to make utensils.
They use it to do what?
To make utensils.
To make utensils. You know, a lot of utensils made actually of skin, that animals' skin. Even things like plates, containers, you know, where they put the water, when they contain their wine, where they contain, in the old days, contain their food. Many containers are made, the most common utensils at that time of the Prophet made of 2 elements. Either it's made of wood or made of skin. The animal's skin. Okay? That's mainly. They basically take the tanned skin and they make spoon out of it. They will make spoon out of it. They will make, like, you know, things to pick food with it. So they will use it in very different ways. So here, that's why he's talking about the rules of those. What's the ruling when it comes to these utensils that are made of animals' skins? And for us today, animal skins are mainly used not for food or utensils, are made for what? Clothes, you know, we use it for purses, shoes, you know, still animal skins play a role. Let's say balls are made of basketball, football, are made of animal skins. Animal skins used in many different formats.
Put water in it. Pouch, put water.
Pouch for water, very good. طيب, so the first hadith the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, إِذَا دُبِغَ الْإِهَابُ فَقَدْ طَهُرَ. When the skin is tanned, it becomes purified, reported by Muslim. And another hadith, any skin that is tanned, it becomes purified. It becomes purified. Any skin. It is any different between the 2 formats. Any skin or when the skin is. Linguistically. What's the difference? Very good.
That's different.
Now the difference is it gets pork skin.
The skin, referring to a specific type of skin. Maybe a specific type of animal, that's right. But any skin, that's a very general term. And that's exactly why this Imam narrated this hadith in 2 ways. Why? Because the Prophet ﷺ said, إِذَا دُبِغَ الْإِهَابُ. The word ihab, tanning, you know what's tanning, that's right. Tanning is a very common procedure known from Asian time to convert an animal skin into leather by subjecting it to chemical process. In the old days, they used salt, they used the sun, they used certain simple tips to make that transformation from the animal skin to the leather that you see today. And today, this process became very advanced. This process is based on what? Purifying the skin from all the blood, everything attached to it. That's right. All the bad smell to go away. All the rutuba, the scholar used to call it it's not wet, it became dry. That's right. It doesn't have the wetness of the animal. It became very dry. That's the procedure. And today, all the skins, all the leather that we use today, if it's an animal leather, are been through that process. So that's tanning. What's the word tanning? Ihab. He translated here to the skin. And in another narration he said, any skin. The word ihab sounds like kitab, the same, right? It means literally the skin of, and here you will find the Muslim or the Arab, not Muslim, the Arab linguistic scholars debate. What this word refer to exactly, ihab? Some said it means the skin of the animal before it tan. So after you tan it, you don't call it ihab anymore. Okay? So any animal's skin is not tanned yet, we call it, any animal skin not tanned yet, we call it ihab. That's why the Prophet, when you tan the ihab, when you tan that skin, you make it a leather, if I may use this word. The other said, no, the word ihab, it means before or after. Others said, no, the word ihab, okay, only referring to the skin of the animal that was slaughtered Islamically. And that means the only animals that you're allowed to slaughter Islamically, like what? Sheep, goat, anything like that.
Camel.
Sheep, goat, camels, cows, deer, stuff like that. You're allowed to hunt, or you're allowed to basically you're allowed to eat. Is that clear? The question: if some scholar would say that the word ihab here means only the animal that you're allowed to eat, that means the limiting the use of animal skins only to the what? To the animals that you're allowed to eat. Because where they come with this idea? Because linguistically that's what this hadith means to them. But the correct opinion, no. Any animal skins before it's tanned, it's called ihab. And the other hadith, any skin, it means all type of animals. If you tan their skins became what? Pure. As simple as this. That's what the Prophet said. So any animals, it doesn't matter. You're allowed to eat or not allowed to eat. It's a bear, it is an elephant,
Dog.
or it is any animal. The Prophet said, a dog, a pig, okay, any animal. So the Prophet made it very clear. He said, any animal that you tan their skins, it became pure. That's what this hadith stated, and it's very explicit.
Sheikh,
Also,
in China, they make the wallet from skin of dog.
Skin of dog, skin of whatever it is. Is that pure? The Prophet said the tanning process will purify what? The skin. طيب. عن سلمة ابن المحبق رضي الله عنه قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم, he said the tanning of dead animals' skin purifies it. So the word Salama ibn Muhabbiq, his name is Salama ibn Sa'd. Okay? Al-Muhabbiq, his father, Sakhr al-Rabi'a. Al-Muhabbiq, for those who just... Muhabbiq, it means it is a very bad meaning. but are not meant to be bad. Can I say it? Not sure. Al-Muhabbat literally means the one who passed gas. That's what linguistically means. So why his father was called Yaz La Gaz? No, they said, they said because his father, when people see him, they get terrified that they start looking. They run away. That's how it's kind of weird, but that's what it is. Anyway, his nickname is Abu Sinan, and Sinan, he said that the Prophet called his name because he was with the Prophet in the battlefield, and they told him, your wife just delivered a baby boy. He said, Wallahi, being with Rasulullah in this battlefield and winning the battlefield and protecting the Prophet is more beloved to me than what you just told me. And I would love to be with Rasulullah than to be next to my wife at that moment, just to be protecting the Prophet Muhammad at that time. Anyway, this hadith is authentic. He said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, any dead animal, the tanning of any dead animal, the tanning of the leather or the skin of any dead animal. When we say dead animals, I want you to understand the following. This is a key point. Al-mayta means the following. Any animal that we eat that die without slaughtering. So a sheep died from the heat. Okay? You driving going to Austin, you hit a deer, die. So anything that you're allowed to eat, but it die without slaughtering or without hunting. Okay? Number one. Number two, dead animal technically means any animal that you're not allowed to eat in Islam. In Islam, we're not allowed to eat dogs. We're not allowed to eat cats. We're not allowed to eat rhinos. We're not allowed to eat elephants. We're not allowed to eat, things of that nature. Pigs. So any animals you're not allowed to eat, we call it mayta. It doesn't matter how it died. Is that clear? Is that clear? So the Prophet said any dead animal, so any one of these two groups, you tan it through the process, it became what? Pure. This is very explicit to refute the opinion who's saying tanning only purifies the skin of the animals that you're allowed to eat. Because you have some group of scholars said the only animals that tanning will purify its skin are the animals that you're allowed to eat, like deer, cows, things of that nature. But if the animal is something you're not allowed to eat, even if you tan the leather, it's still forbidden for you. You're not allowed, it's still najis. Is that clear? But this hadith rejects that idea, reject that concept. Go ahead.
Allah